Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed a special counsel to look over, oversee, and head up the investigation into Donald Trump. Any of the federal investigations, obviously the Mar-a-Lago documents one, but also Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election. So we'll look into this in a second here, but from 30,000 feet, the idea from Merrick Garland's perspective is if we can separate a little bit the political scene from this investigation, maybe the American public feels like it's less political, because that's the accusation against the Justice Department right now in regard to Trump from many, specifically on the right. And so if you appoint a special counsel, that's not Merrick Garland, who is directly appointed by Biden. That's a little bit more removed. But my feeling is either way, guys, if Trump gets held accountable for his possible crimes, they're going to call it a political witch hunt. That's just going to happen. And so just make sure that you're following the evidence, putting together a rock solid case, and then try to treat Trump as much of a normal person as you can. Go about it like he's not a political figure. Otherwise, you get in this messy scene of trying to consider all of these different optical concerns, which I just think you lose both ways. But here's this news breaking. Attorney General Merrick Garland, this is from the Associated Press, named a special counsel on Friday to oversee the Justice Department's investigation into the presence of classified documents at former President Donald Trump's Florida estate, as well as key aspects of a separate probe involving the January 6, 2021 insurrection and efforts to undo the 2020 election. The move, announced just 3 days after Trump formally launched his 2024 candidacy, is a recognition of the unmistakable political implications of two investigations that involve not only a former president, but also a current White House hopeful. And we will look as it continues on to describe at Garland announcing this and outlining some of his reasoning, as you'll see here from MSNBC.
Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel. Such an appointment underscores the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters. It also allows prosecutors and agents to continue their work expeditiously and to make decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law.
So as far as where I land on this, I agree with people who say, stop thinking so much about the optical concerns, because then you're considering politics just as much as you would be from the accusations that people are making. So what he's trying to do is say, we're not considering politics. Look at all the things we're doing to convince you we're not considering politics, which is considering politics, which is kind of backwards. But I also get it is different when someone is an individual like Trump. And as long as we're going through the proper processes to hold him accountable and we're not letting him get off scot-free for crimes he committed, and he will ultimately be held accountable, then honestly, I'm okay with lots of precautions being taken to make sure this doesn't come off as a political witch hunt by any means. And appointing the special counsel in the eyes of Merrick Garland is one way to do that. So I'm not as enraged as some of the other people you'll see commenting on this, but I also understand their criticisms and generally feel like Merrick Garland has been slow rolling this a lot. And then to narrow in on who this special counsel will be, his name's Jack Smith. As Business Insider writes, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced on Friday that he has chosen Jack Smith, that is such a unique name, a veteran prosecutor who investigated war crimes, to oversee federal criminal investigations involving Donald Trump, including the probe into the former president's handling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Smith, who was appointed as the special counsel, will also preside over key aspects of the investigation into the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. So the Mar-a-Lago investigation and the other two as well will be under his oversight, which we'll see where it all goes. But the closer you get to Trump being the nominee or something like that, you're getting in some tough waters to, if you are considering the optical concerns, if he's really close to the general election, running for president once again, and boom, he gets hit with charges. Of course, that's going to be screamed out by the right wing as an attempt to hold him down, even though we've seen these investigations have been going on. The evidence seems pretty obvious for many of the crimes he is alleged to have committed, and he should be held accountable for that. A lot of people like to pretend on the right that no person is above the law, but then it comes to Trump, and no, he should be above the law, which is not how you have a functioning country that has the phrase they like to use is law and order. So we'll see how it all goes, and of course, we'll be following it very closely. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.